Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a different video today. It's kind of different from the regular beauty videos that I do. I wanted to do this video because it really is close to my heart, and it's something that I've had to learn in the past few years that has actually changed my entire life, which is learning how to think for myself. How, as a woman, I can think for myself and not make decisions based on emotion, based on other people's beliefs, but truly my own, what I believe. So kind of want to give you a backstory. For me, always been, I guess, a very, how would I say, always been like a dichotomy of two. Like at work, I was a strong, person. Like I voice my own opinions, my thoughts, and what I think could be helpful, and just my desires, without caring about making a mistake. But in my personal life, I realized that I relied heavily on other people's advice. I didn't really think for myself, like what I actually wanted, what I actually believed, what I actually felt. And this was across like everything from my relationships to my religious beliefs to my political beliefs. It was very much dependent on others. And so I never really knew what I cared about, in terms of those areas. I just kind of, in a way, as humans, I lived in survival because, we are essentially still have caveman brains, and our brains are still wired for survival, to not die. And essentially, really, I would make decisions so that I wouldn't feel like I'm gonna be alone or die or whatever. That's millions of years, but that's still the programming of our brains. It's been some years, and from relationships to friendships to everything, learning how to really think for myself has brought me to this place of complete happiness and confidence in myself, knowing what I believe in, regardless of what others people think, sticking with it. I'm very proud of what I believe in terms of my political beliefs. I'm very proud of my religious journey and my belief in God. And I'm very proud of what I feel I deserve in friendships and relationships, and what is right and what is wrong for me. And that is because I learned how to think for myself. And so I would say, in terms of my journey, it was just kind of, the first thing was hearing other experiences or hearing other points of view. Day and age, everyone is so opposed to hearing someone else's thoughts, like if it goes against theirs. And that is really dangerous, because when I was growing up, I was growing up in the 90s, and it was okay to have opposing beliefs and make silly jokes about each other, and that was fine, and it wasn't really anything more deeper than that. And we could disagree and still be respectful and friends to each other. And it seems like in this day and age that's not possible, and it's really sad. It really breaks my heart, because it seems like things are just kind of tearing us apart. We really should be together, and we really should be talking about things, because that's the only way we work through relationships or work through things. I've had like a therapist, and he told me that one way that knows, or that shows that people are good at relationships, is learning how to repair. At the end of the day, we're humans, and we make mistakes, and we repair. We come back together, and we repair the relationship, whether that's be romantic relationships, familiar relationships, friendships. The essence is about being able to repair. And in our day and age, like, it seems like that's not possible. Like, if you believe something opposingly different to me, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I don't want to be friends with you. And I don't really think that it should be like that. I think you should have your own beliefs and still respect others. So yeah, the first thing I did to learn how to think for myself was really hear other people's point of view and be open to it. Be open to what the other side is saying, and see, maybe they're making some sense. Maybe I can agree on some things, not everything. And that is literally how it is. You don't agree, even on your side, or when people who believe the same things you believe, you don't always agree with everything. And so that's okay to have opposing beliefs. That is normal, that is natural. That is you having your own sense of self, sense of, I know what feels right for me based on my beliefs, based on what I want and what feels wrong. And I'm happy to hear other people's points of views. And I don't need to bash them. I don't need to say anything about them. I can just respect them and that be it. For me, I'm pretty conservative. I have lots of friends who are liberal and who don't believe the same things that I believe, and that's completely fine. And I love that because I can respect their point of view and still love them completely and utterly. And we don't have to get into deep political topics. You have friends for different things. Like, I have friends that I talk about politics with, and I have friends who I don't. But the ones I don't, we don't have to talk about those things, but we can still love and appreciate each other. And really, if you know that it's going to cause a fight, what's the point of talking about it with them if you feel like it's going to cause contention, if they're not open to it? But you can still have a beautiful relationship with them. And I think the problem comes when people are angry at you for your beliefs. That's not the way to go. So coming back to the topic of learning how to think for yourself, for me, it started with politics and everything, but it turned into just everything in life, with what I do with my body, how I take care of my body. Another thing is, I learned to research things. I was told that, I had to go on birth control because I had PMDD and it was really affecting my relationship, my previous relationship. And in fact, and so they told me to get on birth control, and that was the only solution. And I knew in my heart it was wrong to do, but I listened to doctors, I listened to pressure because I just wanted peace. Like, for me, I was a person, I grew up with a lot of stimulation and a lot of things, and I always just wanted peace and calm. And so I just kind of was like a person who was like, just get along, just like, and keep the peace. I wasn't always like that, but I just kind of always wanted peace in my life. And I always felt like, if this is going to give me peace, then I'll just do it. And I knew in my heart of heart that it was the wrong thing to do, and it was the wrong thing to do for me, because it did end up affecting my health. I had gained a lot of weight on it, and I knew I would, but I didn't listen to myself. I was in constant inflammation taking it, and I just hated the fact that I kind of didn't listen to myself. And so eventually I did get off of it in 1 year, and I did a lot of research, and I knew that I had autonomy over my own body. And so I was like, I made this decision to get off of it, and I lost a lot of weight and became happier. My health became better, and I'm healthier than ever, thank God. Yes, being able to trust your own intuition, your own heart, and that starts from asking yourself, how do I feel? How do I feel about this? How does this make me feel? And I think it's really important to listen to your feelings. I don't say do things based on your feelings. I say listen to it, validate it, and that is the key, is validating your own feelings and understanding what you feel and why is this making you feel this way? Why is it making me feel this way when this happens? And asking yourself these questions. So I would say validating your own feelings, asking yourself why you feel certain things, and have a full conversation with yourself. Just take yourself away to get some space to think. You don't need to ask anybody else for advice. You have all of the information you need, all of the, I would say, tools you need to make decisions that are right for you. From my experience, from what I've learned, being able to really say, what do I feel and why do I feel this way? And getting to the root of that, because emotions are very telling. They tell you things. Like, anger tells you that you're actually scared. And you have to ask, why am I scared? Why am I feeling this anger? What is making me scared? So really going to the root of it and asking yourself these questions, kind of doing a recap. The first one was hearing the other side, hearing other people's perspectives. The second one was doing your own research, learning, just trying to understand things before making decisions. Make decisions based off of just your emotion at that point. But I think it's important that, like the third one, which is to understand, what is your emotion? What are you feeling? I grew up in a, like I said, in a very tumultuous situation, and I had to stuff down my feelings on things, and never knew what I felt about anything. Hid it in my relationships for a long time. I never really showed up as myself because I didn't even know who I was. I didn't know what I felt. I just followed things based on what society says you should do, what you should be, what you should have. And I never knew like what I actually wanted and what I felt like I actually deserved. And so when I had a relationship, a serious relationship, and all of these wounds and pains came out, and I couldn't recognize myself. I didn't know, who is this person that is so angry and so sad and so insecure? I couldn't understand who this person was. And it was a child version of me hanging out, you know. A lot of times we see that when something happens, we start acting out. And if you ever notice, you think, you say, and you look back and you're like, wow, I was acting like a child. And to be frank, you were a child. That was a child version of you that was coming out because that part of you was showing like that wound. So if it was an abandonment wound or anything, oh, it was a wound. So being able to understand those emotions, understand why this is coming about, what does this remind me of? Like this experience that I'm feeling about, what is it reminding me about when I was a child? Because everything that we feel, every negative emotion that we feel is stemmed from a childhood experience. So yeah, and finally the last one is learning how to be there for my childlike self. Be there for that part of me that is still a child and wants reassurance or wants whatever she needs. Because as children, we have certain needs, which is to be loved, to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel like seen, to feel heard. And if you grew up in a very insecure like childhood where you didn't get those needs met, you were essentially still, you were growing up to be an adult who has never had those needs met. So people, as you know, as we grow older, we start looking for those needs to be met in relationships, and that never works because no one can really meet those needs except you. You're the only person that can meet those needs for yourself. And so, you know, really understanding, what is my needs? Like, what do I need? You know, I need to be loved. I need to be heard. I need to be seen. I need someone to be present for me. And so being able to do that for yourself and say, I see you, I hear you, I'm here for you, I love you, I will be here for you. That is incredibly powerful and healing and changes the trajectory of everything going forward. Your relationships, your friendships, how you act in work. I noticed for me, like whenever I got negative feedback, I would take it so personally. I would be like, why am I, and then I would act like a child and I'd start crying and I'm like, why is this happening? Why am I acting like this over just like a little negative feedback? And it was because I thought I was gonna die. And that was when you grow up not knowing how to regulate your own emotions, anything that kind of looks like a threat of security indicates to you like a lion is running after you. And like you're essentially gonna die. So I had to tell myself, okay, you know, everyone gets some sort of negative feedback. No one's perfect, and it's okay. I can rectify this, and I'm not mad at myself, and I forgive myself, and I'm only human. And I noticed when I started doing that, like I have not gotten any negative feedback since. I'm better at communicating because I'm frankly kinder to myself now. And so I could be kind to other people. You might be wondering, how does showing up for your child self have anything to do with with thinking for yourself? Well, it's very clear. We make decisions based on emotion, and that is not thinking for yourself. That's thinking from fear, from survival. And in order to think for yourself, you have to be regulated. You have to be calm, you have to be feeling safe, and then you can make decisions from a wise place. I did this form of therapy. I did a lot of therapy before, and it didn't really help because I didn't understand my attachment style, but I did learn a lot. And there is a thing called wise mind, which is a combination of emotional and logical, and you're using both factors to make decisions. And so you don't want to just make a decision that is just completely emotional, because emotions are fleeting. They leave, they come, they go, and you don't want to make decisions from that point of view. And you don't only just want to make decisions from logical point of view, because there is a sense of like emotion that is important. How understanding how you do feel can determine what's going on. And so having a mix of both is really important. And I think that men are very much more logical than women, and women are incredibly emotional, but there is a power, there is an incredible superpower to being able to learn how to regulate your emotions and use both. So I hope this has helped you guys in learning how to think for yourself. This is incredibly important, especially in this day and age. Social media and everything, and people using canceling and whatever to control people, to shame people. And I want you to know that you do not have to go along to get along. You don't have to go along to get along. You don't have to do the things that other people are doing just to feel safe, because I know a lot of people feel this way. A lot of people feel like, what do I even think or feel? And so yeah, I just hope this helps you. I hope this shows you that it is possible to learn how to think for yourself. It is really important. So yeah, hope this helped. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about this topic. I'm happy to do more topics like this. This is incredibly dear to me, learning how to be more in control of your emotions, how to regulate. I'm happy to do more videos on this topic because I've learned so much about this. I've gone through a very big healing journey of learning how to regulate my emotions, learning what my attachment style is, learning how to be there for my inner child, and healing all of my own wounds. And I'm happy to share what I've learned with you guys. So just let me know. I'm happy to do it. Bye, everyone.